Good morning! Welcome to Wednesday, Woke Wednesday, to be more specific. I'm really excited. I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm so excited. So a little disclaimer beforehand, the views that I propose don't necessarily represent all of the Black community or all of the female community. It's just from what I think and what I've observed over time. And I'll also try to keep it relatively short, like hopefully not more than 4 snaps to answer one question, if not less. I'm also walking to work, so I'll be kind of busy, but yeah. And of course, if there's anything you have more questions on or something I say that you just don't agree with, this is supposed to be more of a discussion, so please let me know, snap me, text me, whatever, call me if you need to. This is in fact a trick question, because the truth is most girls do not actually hate their natural hair just because they wear it in different styles or wear braids or relax it. Now, whether we love it is a different story, because from a very young age we're told that it's unprofessional looking, we need to change it for work, to be liked by boys. There are entire schools and workplaces that tell their students and employees that they will be punished, expelled, fired if they don't keep their hair a certain way. And of course there's a whole thing of what friends in society say is beautiful as well. Like when I cut my hair, I only really got told I was beautiful when my hair was braided, not when it was natural. Now, of course, I've come to love my hair, but you can love your hair whether it's natural, braided, relaxed. Really, it's just how you choose to express it. It's really your own art form. The light skin versus dark skin debate, how I hate it so much. So for the most part, the light skin versus dark skin thing is really a joke between people who have lighter skin and darker skin but are still black or mixed. But there is an underlying seriousness as to how the topic's related to the issue of colorism, which is basically like minorities ranking each other based on the color of their skin. So typically light skins are viewed as more attainable, more beautiful, tend not to text back, and just more attractive in general, while dark skins are viewed as more bulky, less attractive, more athletic even in some cases, which is generally not the kind of black person you'd want. This is perpetuated by modeling industries, movies, so many different things, where you see a lot of the good characters looking like this, and a lot of the evil characters looking like this. Literally all over the world, millions of dollars and foreign currencies go into the skin lightening industry because people are buying into the idea that they have to be light to be beautiful. Lunch break time, but you can never take a break from being woke, now can you? I thought that was smart. So while I was reading and listening to everyone's responses, which were amazing by the way, one of my really good friends asked me a question that I thought was just perfect for our next topic of conversation. So the idea of acting or sounding like a specific race is unfortunately an idea that many people grew up with and probably heard over a million different times, in high school, at work, so on and so forth. I know that for me personally, growing up in middle and high school, I was probably told over 100 times that because I spoke very eloquently and acted properly, that I was white on the inside. The problem with this is that the phrase assumes and insinuates that proper behavior, education, eloquence, all are traits of whiteness and not any other minority. In addition to that, the assumption of acting black comes with acting quote-unquote ghetto, ratchet, improper, uncouth, all those different things that you would think in your head. Which, as a complete side note, just know that attributing phrases like ratchet, ghetto with blackness is problematic in itself, but that's a whole nother Woke Wednesday. Much like the whole light skin versus dark skin debate, the whole you sound white or act black attributes certain behaviors with certain races. Good is white and bad is black. Bad, 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 bad. Again, this plays a huge role in how people subconsciously see themselves. It was only when I got to college that I actually accepted the fact that being told I sound white was not a compliment. And I know this is already a really long explanation, but another thing I should add is this is not only something I would hear from my friends that are white, but an actual problematic attitude within the black community itself. I want to start off with a disclaimer because although I'm African American on paper, both of my parents are immigrants, meaning my history might not be as heavily tied into slavery as many others. But even from all the way across the ocean, we can recognize that slavery and any symbolism that goes with it is inherently problematic. But let me not get too heavy. The problem is that when images and manifestations of the Confederate flag are used as a symbol of Southern pride, it's inherently tying in that pride with the oppression of an entire people. Flag is something used to represent someone's ideals, someone's unity and solidarity. And so for your flag to represent something that oppressed and demoralized so many people, that's rough. Living in the South means you see Confederate flags used as decorations for bumper stickers, houses, which instead of it being a symbol of pride really just feels like it's confirmation that you don't want me to exist. The most ironic thing to me is that when Black people do protest Confederate flags and then people say, get over it, slavery's over, you're using the Confederate flag. The Confederate flag. History. What? So I think it's actually perfect that the BlackGirlMagic question is the last one I answered, because with all the other answers in mind, it makes more sense. Oftentimes on social media, especially when Black women post pictures of things, you'll either see in captions or comments of some sort, BlackGirlMagic or something like that. And to many that are not immediately in the community, it might be a little confusing, like, why are you celebrating only Black women and excluding others? Like, are you anti everything else kind of thing? And in all honesty, with everything else in mind that I talked about, like societal standards of beauty, expectations, confirmations of personality, there's a reason that we celebrate it. The first thing that's necessary to understand is that BlackGirlMagic is something that came about out of necessity, not out of luxury. Because with all the pressure that's put on Black women, we needed to somehow celebrate. Like I mentioned before, so many of us grew up being told that we were too loud, we weren't beautiful, we would never amount to anything, we were ratchet, and no one actually told us to celebrate ourselves. So anytime any accomplishment is achieved, whether it be in areas of STEM, in art, heck, even just living and breathing, honestly, it's an example of overcoming all of those. And again, I want to reemphasize that in celebrating BlackGirlMagic, that's not putting down any other group, but it's recognizing that for years and years, Black girls weren't told we could celebrate. I could honestly go on and on for ages, but just the idea that Black women are told that we have to work twice as hard for half as much, really doing anything takes an element of magic. One of the privileges I had growing up was being able to be surrounded by such a diverse group of friends, but also recognizing that in celebrating our similarities, I also needed to celebrate our differences. And this is already the longest answer to any question yet, mostly because it's probably the one that's closest to my heart, but honestly, if you see your Black friend doing something amazing, tell them. They might